Well, welcome to Shakespeare in the Park 2019 here at Rush Park in Rossmore. We're pleased to be part of this 2019 season of Shakespeare in the Park. People are gathering just before the curtain comes up on Henry V here at Rush Park. Shakespeare by the Sea's Saturday night production. Tomorrow night will be Comedy of Errors, but tonight's very political and very serious production of Shakespeare's Henry V is one that is fraught with lessons for us in our own time, shall we just say that. But before we start, it seems appropriate that once again, let us present to you the kind of work that these folks here put into not only the acting of their lines and their roles here as characters in these very complicated Shakespeare plays, but they actually build the sets, they run the wires, they do the sound mixing, they do the lighting, they do it all, and they break it down every night, and they do it all over again. So what follows now is a short montage of just what it takes to put a production like this together here tonight at Rush Park for Henry V, Shakespeare's Best.
Raffle tickets!
Standing there.
Yeah, let's do the same pair of legs, Brendan. Damn it!
You love me! Oh, for a muse of fire that were to send the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry like himself assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon, gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? On your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared budding fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, for 'tis your thoughts which now must deck our kings. Carry them here and there, jumping o'er time, turning the accomplishments of many years into an hourglass. For the which supply, admit me, chorus to this history.
God and his angels guard your sacred throne and make you long become it.
Shall we call him the French ambassador, my liege?
Not yet, my cousin. We would be resolved before we hear him of some things of weight that task our thoughts concerning us and France. My learned lord, we pray you to proceed and justly and religiously unfold why the law Salic that they have in France, or should not bar us in our claim. And God forbid, my dear and faithful lord, that you should fashion, rest, or bow your reading. For God doth know how many now in health shall drop their blood in approbation of what your reverence shall incite us to. Therefore take heed how you impawn our person, how you awake our sleeping sword of war.
There is no bar against your highness' claim to France. But this: no female shall secede in Salic land. So do the French kings unto this day bar your highness claiming from the female.
May I with right and conscience make this claim?
In the book of Numbers it is writ, when the man dies, let his inheritance descend unto the daughter.
Stand for your own. Unwind your bloody flag. Look back unto your mighty ancestors.
Go, my tread lord, to your great-grandsire's tomb, from whom you claim. Invoke his warlike spirit. And your great-uncles, Edward the Black Prince, who on the French crown played a tragedy, making defeat on the full power of France.
Awake remembrance of these valiant dead, and with your puissant arm, renew their feats. Thou art their heir. Thou sit upon their throne. The blood and courage that renowned them runs in your veins.
Your brother kings and monarchs of the earth do all expect that you should rouse yourself, as did the former lions of your blood.
They know your grace hath cause and means and might, so hath your highness. Never king of England had nobles richer and more loyal subjects, whose hearts have left their bodies here in England and lie pavilioned in the fields of France.
Oh, let their bodies fall, my liege, with blood and sword and fire to earn your right. In aid whereof, we of the spirituality will raise your highness a greater sum that never did the clergy at one time bring to any of your ancestors.
On the messenger sent from the Dauphin. Now are we well resolved, and by God's help and yours, the noble sinews of our power, France being ours, we'll bend it to our awe, or break it all to pieces, or lay these bones in an unworthy urn, tombless with no remembrance over them. Either our history shall with full mouth speak freely of our acts, or else our grave shall have a tongueless mouth, not worshipped with a waxen epitaph. Now are we well prepared to know the pleasure of our fair cousin Dauphin, for we hear your greeting is from him, not from the king.
May it please your majesty to grant us leave freely to render what we have in charge, or shall we sparingly and far off show you the Dauphin's meaning and our embassy?
We are no tyrant, but Christian king. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Thus and few. Your Highness, lately sending unto France, did claim some certain dukedoms in the name of your great predecessor, King Edward the Third.
Edward the Black.
In answer of which claim, the Prince our master says you savor too much of your use. Bids you be advised there is not in France that can be this a noble galliard one. You cannot revel into dukedoms there. He therefore sends you, meter for your spirit, this ton of treasure. And in lieu of this, desires the dukedoms that you claim, hear no more of you. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle?
Tennis balls, my liege.
We are glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His presence and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set, shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Tell him he hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France will be disturbed with chases. We understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. But tell the Dauphin I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. And I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France, yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us. Until the pleasant prince, this mock of his, hath turned his balls to gunstones, and his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that will fly with them. For many a thousand widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands, mock mothers from their sons, mock castles down. And many are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. But this lies all within the will of God, to whom I do appeal, and in whose name tell you the Dauphin, I am coming on to venge me as I may, and to put forth my rightful hand in a well-hallowed cause. So get you hence in peace. And tell the Dauphin, his jests will savor but of shallow wit, when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey him with safe conduct.
This was a merry message.
We hope to make the sender blush at it. Therefore, my lords, omit no happy hour that may give furtherance to our expedition. For we have now no thought in us but France, save those to God, that run before our business. Therefore, let our proportions for these wars be soon collected, and all things thought upon that may with reasonable swiftness add more feathers to our wings. For God before will check this Dauphin at his father's door.
Now all the youth of England are on fire. Now thrive the armorers, and honor stock reigns solely in the breast of every man. They sell the pasture now to buy the horse, following the mirror of all Christian kings, with winged heels like English Mercury. For now sits expectation in the air, and hides a sword from points unto hilts, crowns imperial, crowns and coronets promised to Harry and his followers. The French, advised by good intelligence of this most dreadful expedition, shake in their fear, and with pale policy seek to divert the English purposes. O England, model of thy inward greatness, like little body with a mighty heart, what wouldst thou do? That honor would thee too, were all thy children kind and natural. But see thy fault.
Well met, Corporal Nib.
Good morrow, Lieutenant Bartle.
What, are you in pistol, friend yet?
For my part, I care not.
I shall bestow a breakfast to make you friends, and we'll be all three sworn brothers to France.
Faith, I will live so long as I may. That is the certain of it. And when I cannot live any longer, I will do as I may. That is my rest.
'Tis certain Pistol is married to Nell Quickly, and most certainly she did you wrong, for you were troth-plight to her.
I cannot tell. Things must be as they may. Men may sleep, and they may have their throats about them at that time. And some say knives have edges.
Here comes Pistol and his wife now. Good corporal, be patient here. How now, mine host Pistol?
Base tank! Call'st thou me host? Now by this hand I swear I scorn the term, nor shall my now keep lodgers.
Oh, no, by my troth, not long. For we cannot lodge and board a dozen of 14 gentlewomen that live honestly by the prick of their needles. But if we frankly keep a body house straight. Oh, by the day, lady, and he been drawn. Now shall we see willful adultery and murder committed.
Pish for thee, Icelandic dog, thou prick-eared cur of Iceland!
Good Corporal Nim, show your valor and put up your sword.
Will you shog off? I would have you solaced.
Oh!
Solace? Oh, egregious dog! Oh, viper vile! I do retort the solace in thy bowels, for I can take, and Pistol's cock is up, and flashing fire will follow.
You can't conjure me. I have had humans to know you indifferently well. If you grow foul with me, Pistol, I will scour you with my arrow.
Hear me what I say! He that strikes the first blow! Oh, run unto the help, as I am a soldier!
I will cut my one time or other in answer! That is the humor of it!
My name is Pistol! You must come into my master. And you too, hostess. He's very sick and would to bed. Hey, he's very ill.
Now by my troth he'll yield the crow a pudding one of these days. The king hath killed his heart.
The king hath run bad humors on the night. That's the even of it.
Lim, thou hast spoke the right. His heart is fracted and corroborate.
The king is a good king. But it must be as it may. He passes some humors and careers.
Let us condole, Falstaff. For lambkins, we will live.
God save thy grace, King Hell, my royal Hell, my sweet boy, my king, my Jove. I speak to thee, my heart.
I know thee not, old man, falter thy prayers. No, the grave doth gape for thee thrice wider than for other men. Presume not that I am the thing I was, for God doth know, so shall the world perceive, that I have turned away from my former self, so will I those that kept me company. I banish thee on pain of death.
I shall be sent for in private to him. He must seem thus to the world. My king, my Jove, I speak to thee, my heart.
My manly heart doth yearn. Barloff! Be blithe! Nim, rouse thy vaunting veins. Boy! Bristle thy courage up! For Falstaff! He's dead! and we must yearn therefore.
I would I were with him wheresoe'er he is, either in heaven or in hell.
Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom. If ever man went to Arthur's bosom, he made a finer end and went away and had been any Christum child. He parted even just between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For when I saw him fumble with the sheets and play with his flowers and smile upon his fingers' ends, I knew there was but one way. For his nose was as sharp as a pen, and he babbled of green fields. How now, Sir John, quoth thou, what man, be of good cheer? And so he cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times now. I'd comfort him, bidding me should not think of God. I hope there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. And then he bade me lay more clothes upon his feet, and I put my hand into the bed and felt them. And they were as cold as any stone. And then I felt up to his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. And so upwards and upwards, and all was as cold as any stone.
I wager he cried out for sack.
Aye, that he did.
Do you not remember when he saw a flea stick upon Bardolph's nose and it said it was a black soul burning in hellfire?
The fuel is gone that fed that fire. And that's all the riches I ever got in his service.
Shall we shove? King will be gone from Southampton.
Clear thy crystals. Look to my chattels and my movables. Yoke fellows in arms. We must to France. Like horse leeches, my boys, to suck, the very blood to suck.
Farewell, mistress.
I cannot kiss. That is the humor of it. But, adieu.
Farewell. Adieu.
England, France has in thee found out a nest of hollow bosoms, which he fills with treacherous crowns. And 3 corrupted men. 1, Richard, Earl of Cambridge. And the 2nd, Henry, Lord Scrope of Masher. And the 3rd, Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland. Half for the guilt of France. Oh, guilt indeed. Confirmed conspiracy with fearful France. And by their hands this grace of kings must die. Linger your patience on. We'll digest the abuse of distance. Force of play. The sum is paid, the traders are agreed, the king is sent from London, and the scene is now transported, gentles, to Southampton. There must you sit. There's the playhouse now, and thence to France shall we convey you safe and bring you back, charming the narrow seas to give you gentle pass. For if we may, we'll not offend one stomach with our play. But till the king go forth, and not till then, unto Southampton do we shift our scene.
For God, his grace is bold to trust these traitors.
They shall be apprehended by and by.
How smooth and even they do bear themselves, as if allegiance in their bosoms lie, constantly crowned with faith and loyalty.
The king hath note of all that they intend by interception that they dream not of.
Nay, but for the man that was his bedfellow, whom he hath doled and clogged with gracious favors, that he should, for a foreign purse, so sell his sovereign's life to death and treachery.
Now sits the wind fair, and we will aboard. My lord of Cambridge, and my kind lord of Masham, and you, gentle knight, give me your thoughts. Think you not that the powers that we bear with us will cut their passage through the force of France, doing the execution and the act for which we have in head assembled them?
No doubt, my liege, if each man do his best.
I doubt not that, for we are well persuaded we carry not a heart with us from hence that grows not in a fair consent with ours.
Never was monarch better feared and loved than is your majesty.
True. Those that were your father's enemies have steeped their galls in honey, and do serve you with hearts create of duty and of zeal.
We therefore have great cause of thankfulness, and would forget the office of our hand sooner than quittance of desert and merit, according to the weight and worthiness.
So service shall with steeled sinews toil, and labor shall refresh itself with hope to do your grace incessant services.
Uncle of Exeter, enlarge that man committed yesterday that railed against our person. We consider it was excess of wine that set him on, and on his more advice we pardoned him.
That's mercy, but too much security. Let him be punished, sovereign, lest example breed by his sufferance more of such a kind.
Oh, let us yet be merciful.
Well, so may your highness, and yet punish too.
You show great mercy if you give him life, after the taste of much correction.
Alas, your too much love and care of me are heavy orisons against this poor wretch. If little faults proceeding on distemper should not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye when capital crimes, chewed, swallowed, and digested, appear before us? We'll yet enlarge that man, though Cambridge, Scrope, and Grey, in their dear care and tender preservation of our person, would have him punished. And now, to our French causes. Who are the late commissioners?
I, one, my lord, your highness bade me ask for today.
So did you me, my liege.
And I, my royal sovereign.
And Richard, Earl of Cambridge, there is yours. They're yours, Lord Scrope of Masham, and Sir Knight Grey of Northumberland, this same is yours. Read them, and know, I know, your worthiness. Uncle of Exeter, we will aboard tonight. Why, how now, gentlemen? What see you in those papers that you lose so much complexion? Look ye, how they change their cheeks or paper.
I do confess my fault, and do submit me to your highness' mercy.
To which we all appeal.
Mercy, that was quick in us but late, by your own counsel is suppressed and killed. You must not dare, for shame, to talk of mercy. For your own reasons, turn into your bosoms as dogs upon their masters, worrying you. See you, my princes and my noble peers, these English monsters. My lord of Cambridge here, you know how apt our love was to accord to furnish him with all appurtenance belonging to his honor. And this man hath for a few light crowns lightly conspired, and sworn unto the practices of France to kill us here in Hampton. For the which this knight, no less for bounty bound to us than Cambridge is, hath likewise sworn. But oh, what shall I say to thee, Lord Scrope? Thou cruel, ingrateful, savage, and inhuman creature. Thou that didst bear the key of all my counsels, that knewest the very bottom of my soul, that almost mightst have coined me into gold. Wouldst thou have practiced on me for thy use? May it be possible that foreign hire could out of thee extract one spark of evil that might annoy my finger? 'Tis so strange, that though the truth of it stand off as gross as black and white, my eye will scarcely see it. Treason and murder ever kept together as two yoke devils sworn to either's purpose, working so grossly in a natural cause that admiration did not whoop at them. I will weep for thee, for this revolt of thine methinks is like another fall of man. Their faults are open. Arrest them to the answer of the law, and God acquit them of their practices.
I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard, Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry, Lord Scrope of Masham. And I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland.
Our purposes God hath justly discovered, and I do repent my fault more than my guiltiness. which I beseech your highness to forgive, although my body pay the price of it.
For me, the gold of France did not seduce, although I did admit it as a motive the sooner to effect what I intended. But God be thanked for prevention, beseeching God and you to pardon me.
Never did faithful subjects more rejoice at the discovery of most dangerous treason. My fault, but not my body. Pardon, sovereign.
God quit you in his mercy. Hear your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaimed, and from his coffers received the golden earnest of our death, wherein you would have sold your king to slaughter. Touching our person, seek we no revenge, but we our kingdom's safety must so tender, whose ruin you have sought, that to her laws we do deliver you. Get you therefore hence, poor miserable wretches, to your death, the taste whereof God give you patience to endure, and true repentance of all your dear offenses. Bear them hence. Now, lords, for France, the enterprise whereof shall be to you as us like glorious. I doubt not of a fair and lucky war, since God so graciously hath brought to light this dangerous treason lurking in our way to hinder our beginnings. And forth, let us deliver our puissance into the hand of God, cheerily to see the signs of war advance. No king of England, if not king of France.
With full power upon us, and more than carefully it us concerns to answer royally in our defense. Therefore, the Dukes of Brabant and Orleans shall make forth, and you, Prince Dauphin, with all swift dispatch to line and new repair our towns of war with men of courage and means defendant.
My most redoubted father, it is most meet we arm us against the foe. And let us do so with no show of fear, no, with no more than if we heard that England were busied with a Whitten Morris dance. For, my good liege, she is so idly kinged, her scepter so fantastically borne by a vain, giddy, shallow, humorous youth, that fear attends her not.
Oh, peace, Prince Dauphin. You are too much mistaken in this king. Question, your grace, the late ambassadors, with what great state he heard their embassy, how well supplied with noble consulars, how terrible and constant resolution. And you shall find that his vanities forspent were but the outside of the Roman Brutus.
Well, 'tis not so, my lord high constable. But though we think it so, it is no matter. In cases of defense, 'tis best to weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems, so the proportions of defense are filled.
Think we King Harry strong, and princes, look you strongly armed to meet him. The kindred of him hath been fleshed upon us, and he is bred of that same bloody strain that haunted us in our familiar past. Witness our all too memorable shame and all the princes captive at the hand of that black name, Edward, the Black Prince of Wales. This is a kindred of that victorious stock, and let us fear the native mightiness and fate of him.
Ambassadors from Henry, King of England, do crave admittance with your highness.
We will give them present audience. Go, bring them in. You see, our chase is hotly followed, friend.
Good, my sovereign, take up the English short, and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
From our brother England.
From him, and thus he greets your majesty. He wills you in the name of God Almighty that you divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories that by gift of heaven, by law of nature and of nations belong to him and to his heirs, namely the crown of France. That you may know 'tis no sinister, nor no awkward claim he sent you this most memorable line. And when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famous ancestors, Edward III, he then bids you resign the crown and kingdom indirectly held from him, the native and true challenger.
Or else what follows?
Bloody constraint? For if you hide the crown, even in your hearts, there will he rake for it. Therefore in fierce tempest is he coming, in thunder and an earthquake like a Jove, and if requiring fail, he will compel. And bid you in the bowels of the Lord, deliver up the crown, and take mercy on the poor souls for whom this hungry war opens his vasty jaws. And on your head, burning the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead men's blood, the pining maiden's groans for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed in this controversy. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message. Unless the dolphin be in presence here, to whom expressly I bring greeting too.
For the Dauphin, I stand for him. What to him from England?
Scorn and defiance. Oh! Slight regard, contempt, and anything that may not misbecome the mighty sender doth he prize you at. Thus says my king. And if your father's highness would not in grant of all demands at large sweeten the bitter mock you sent his majesty, he'll call you to so hot an answer for it. The caves and roomy vaultages of France shall chide your trespass and return your mock in second accent of its ordinance.
I desire nothing but odds with England. To that end, as mentioned to his youth and vanity, I did present him with the Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris Louvre shake for it. We're at the mistress court of mighty Europe.
Oh!
Be assured, you'll find a difference as we his subjects have in wonder found. Now he weighs time even to the utmost grain. That shall you read in your own losses if you remain in France.
Tomorrow you shall know our mind at full.
Dispatch us with all speed, lest our king come here himself to question our delay, for he is footed in this land already.
A knight is but small breath and little pause to answer matters of his consequence.
And so our swift scene flies in motion of no less celerity than that of thought. Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold the ordnance on the carriages, gaping mouths on girded hearth floor. Suppose the ambassador for France comes back, tells Harry the king doth offer him Catherine, his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedoms. The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches, and down goes all before them. Still be kind and piece out our performance with your mind.
Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more! Or close the wall up with our English dead! In peace, that nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility, but when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, conjure up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage, then lend the eye a terrible aspect, let it pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon, let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearfully as doth the gallant rock, o'erhang and jutty his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof, fathers that like so many Alexanders have in these parts from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeomen whose limbs were made in England. Show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there are none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit and upon this charge cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
Pray thee, Corporal, stay! These knocks are too hot!
These knocks come and go, God's vassals drop and die, and sword and shield and body filled by twin immortal fame!
If I were in an alehouse in London, I would give all my fame for a pot of ale and safety!
Up to the breach, your dogs! Aboard your career! Merciful great dukes and men of war! The bait thy rage! The bait thy family rage! Good God, the bait thy rage! Use lenity, sweet child!
These be good humors, and your honor with bad humors!
As young as I am, I have observed these three swashers. I am boy to them all three. But though all they three would serve me, they could not be man to me. Bardolph and Nim are sworn brothers in filching, and they would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves, which makes much against my manhood, for to take from another's pocket to put into mine, it is a plain pocketing up of wrongs. I must leave them and seek some better service, for their villainy goes against my weak stomach.
Captain Flawley, you must come presently to the mines. The Duke of Gloucester would speak with you.
To the mines? Tell you, the Duke, that the mines is not according to the disciplines of the war. The concavities of it is not sufficient. By Jesus, I think we'll pull a bowl if there's not better directions.
The Duke of Gloucester, to whom the order of the siege is given to, is altogether directed by an Irishman, a very valiant gentleman of faith.
Ah, this Captain MacMorris, is it not?
I think it be.
By Jesus, he's an ass in the world. He has no better directions to the true disciplines of the war than a puppet dog. 10 cents a parley. When there is more better opportunity to be required, look you, I will tell you that I know the disciplines of the war, and there is an end.
I am resolved, the governor of the town. To our best mercy give yourselves, or like the men proud of destruction, defy us to our worst. For as I am a soldier, a name that in my thoughts becomes me best, if I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur till in her ashes she lie buried. The gates of mercy shall be all shut up, and the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, in liberty of bloody hand shall range with conscience wide as hell. Therefore, you men of Harfleur, take pity of your town and of your people. Was yet my soldiers are in my command. Was it the cool and temperate wind of grace o'erblows the filthy and contagious clouds of heady murder, spoil, and villainy? If not, in a moment look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand defile the locks of your shrill shrieking daughters. Your fathers, taken by the silver beards and their most reverend heads, dashed to the walls. Your naked infants spitted upon pikes, while the mad mothers with their howls confused do break the clouds. What say you? Will you yield and this avoid, or guilty in defense be thus destroyed?
Our expectation had this day an end. The Dauphin, whom of succors we entreated, returns us that his powers are yet not ready to raise so great a siege. Therefore, dread king, we yield our town and lives to thy soft mercy. Enter our gates, dispose of us and ours, for we no longer are defensible.
Open your gates. Come, Uncle Exeter. Go you and enter Harfleur. There remain and fortify it strongly against the French. Use mercy to them all. For us, the winter coming on and sickness growing upon our soldiers, we will retire to Calais. Tonight in Harfleur we will be your guest. Tomorrow, the march are we addressed.
Alice, tu as été en Angleterre et tu parles bien le langage. Un peu, madame. Je te prie. Monseigneur, il faut que je vous parle. Comment appelez-vous la main ou anglais?
La main, elle est appelée du hand.
De hand. Et les doigts?
Les doigts? Oh, ma foi, j'oublie les doigts. Mais je me souviendrai les doigts, je pense qu'ils sont appelés the fingers. Oui, the fingers.
Ah, the hand et les doigts de fingers. Je pense que je suis le bon collier. Je gagne tout mon anglais vite. Comment appelez-vous les ongles?
Les ongles, nous les appelons du nails.
Nails. Écoutez, dites-moi si je parle bien. De hand, de fingers et de nails.
C'est bien dit, madame, il faut bon anglais.
Comment appelez-vous le bras?
The arm, madame.
Arm. Et le cul?
The elbow.
The elbow, oui. Je m'en fais la répétition de tous les mots que vous m'avez appris dès à présent.
Oh, il est trop difficile, madame, comme je pense.
Excusez-moi, Alice. Écoutez. Des head, des fingers, des nails, des armes et des bilbos.
Elbow, madame.
Seigneur Dieu, je m'oubliais. Des elbows. Comment appelez-vous le col?
The nick, madame.
The nick. Et le menton?
The chin.
Le col de nick et le menton de chin.
Oui, sauf votre honneur, en vérité, vous prononcez le mot aussi droit que le natif d'Angleterre.
Je n'ai de point d'apprendre par la grâce de Dieu. Et une fois de tambour.
N'avez-vous pas déjà oublié ce que je vous ai enseigné?
Non. Je réciterai à vous promptement de hand, de fingers, de nails.
The nails, madame.
De nails. De armes et de elbows.
Sauf votre honneur, the elbow.
Ainsi dis-je de elbows, de nick et de signes. Comment appelez-vous le pied et la robe?
Des foot, madame, et des culs.
Seigneur Dieu, c'est seulement des hommes ouverts, corruptibles, gros et prodigues. De nobles dames de honneur tous ces. Je ne voudrais prononcer ce mot devant le Seigneur de France pour tout l'amour. Oh, il faut de le couille. Néanmoins, je resterai notre femme à la son ensemble des hand, des fingers, des nails, des armes, des elbows, des nick, des cins, des potes et des corps.
Excellent, madame.
C'est assez pour une fois. Alors, nous à dîner.
"'Tis certain he has passed the river Somme.
Ah, two people! Shall a few sprays of us, the emptying of our fathers' luxuries, our scions, put in wild and savage stock, spurt up so suddenly into the clouds and overlook their grafters?
Dirty Bataille, where have they this metal? Is not their climate foggy, raw, and dull? On whom, as in despot, the sun looks pale, killing their fruit with frowns? And shall our quick blood, spirited with wine, seem frosty?
Montjoy, be herald. Speed you hence. Greet England with a sharp defiance. Up, princes, and with spirit of honor edged sharper than your swords, hie you to the fields. Bow, hairy England, that sweeps through our land with pinions painted in the blood of our floor. Go down upon him. You have power enough. And a captive chariot into Rouen, bring him our prisoner.
His numbers are so few, his soldiers sick and famished from their march. For I am sure when he shall see our army, he'll drop his heart to the sink of fear, and for achievement, offer us his ransom.
Therefore, haste on, Montjoy, and say you to England we send to know what willing ransom they will give. Prince Dauphin, you will stay here with us in Rouen.
Not so, I do beseech your
Be
majesty.
patient. You will remain here with us. Go forth, Lord Constable, and princes all, and quickly bring us word of England's fall.
Captain Flawless, coming from the bridge.
I assure you, this very excellent service is committed at the bridge.
It's the Duke of Exeter safe.
He is not. God be blessed and praised any hurt in the world, but keeps the bridge most valiantly, with excellent discipline. There's a lieutenant there, I think in my very conscience he's as valiant about as Mark Antony.
Ah, he's called Ensign Pistol. Here's the man.
Captain, I thee beseech to do me favors. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well.
I praise God, and I have merited some love at his hands.
Bardolph, a soldier firm and sound of heart, and of buxom valor hath, by cruel fate and giddy fortune's furious fickle wheel.
By your patience, Pistol. Fortune is painted blind.
Yes.
With a muffler for her eyes to signify to you that fortune is blind.
Correct, Captain.
And she is painted also with a wheel to signify to you, which is the moral of it, that she is turning in inconstant immutability and variation.
Yes,
and
Captain.
her foot, look you, is fixed upon a spherical
Captain.
stone, which rolls
Captain.
and rolls and rolls. In
Captain.
truth, the poet makes an excellent description of it. Fortune is an excellent moral.
Fortune is Bardolph's foe, and frowns on him, for he hath stole from a church, and Exeter hath given the doom of death. Therefore go speak, Captain, the Duke will hear thy voice. Speak, Captain, for his life, and I will thee requite.
Ancient Pistol, I do partly understand your meaning.
Why then rejoice therefore?
'Tis not a thing to rejoice at! For look you, were he my brother, I would desire the Duke to use with pleasure and put him to execution, for discipline ought to be used.
Die and be damned, and Figo for thy friendship.
Why, 'tis an arrant counterfeit rascal. I remember him now. A bawd, a cutpurse.
Aye, these are his brave words at the bridge, as you shall see in a summer's day.
What does it go? A fool, a rogue who now and then goes to the wars to grace himself at his return into London, and under the form of a soldier.
I do perceive he is not the man that he would gladly make sure to the world that he is. Go plus your majesty!
Anna Llewellyn, himself from the bridge.
Aye, the Duke of Exeter has held the bridge most valiantly. The French has gone off.
What men have you lost, Llewellyn?
I think the Duke had never lost a man except for one who's like to be executed for robbing a church. One, Bardol, if your majesty know the man. His face is all bulbicles and whelks and knobs and flames of fire, and his lips claws in his nose like a coal of fire, sometimes clawed, sometimes red. But his nose is executed and his fire's out.
We would have all such offenders so cut off. And we give express charge that in our marches through the country there be nothing compelled from the villages. Nothing taken but paid for, none of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language. For when lenity and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentler gamester is the soonest winner.
You know me by my habit?
Well, then I know thee. What shall I know of thee?
My master's mine.
Unfold it.
Thus says my king, says out to Harry of England. Though we seemed dead, we did but sleep. Advantage is a better soldier than rashness. Tell him we could have rebuked him at Harfleur, but we thought it not good to bruise an injury till it were full ripe. Now we speak upon our cue, and our voice is imperial. England shall repent his folly. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom, which must proportion the losses we have borne, the subjects we have lost, the disgrace we have digested. For our losses, his exchequer is too poor. For the effusion of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint a number. For our disgrace, his own person kneeling at our feet, but a weak and verseless satisfaction. To this add defiance, and tell him, for conclusion, he has betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. So far, my king and master, so much my office.
What is thy name?
Montjoy.
How dost thy office fairly? Turn thee back and tell thy king, I do not seek him now, but could be willing to march on to Calais without impeachment. Go, therefore, tell thy master, here I am. My ransom is this frail and worthless trunk. My army but a weak and sickly guard. Yet God before tell him we will come on, though France himself stand in our way. If we may pass, we will. If we be hindered, we shall your tawny ground with your red blood discolor. So, Montjoy, fare you well. We would not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are we say we will not shun it. So tell your master.
I shall deliver so. Thanks to your majesty.
I hope they will not come upon us now.
We are in God's hand, brother, not in theirs. March to the bridge, it now draws toward night. And on the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow bid them march away.
We will now take a short intermission. The actors are coming back around to sell more raffle tickets. Please also take a moment to fill out your questionnaires and return them. Visit our concessions area or purchase this season's t-shirts or sweatshirts. Once again, thank you for supporting Shakespeare by the Sea. Intermission has concluded. Please take your seats. The show will begin momentarily.
Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, and the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear. And from the tents, the armorers accomplishing the nights with busy hammers closing rivets up give dreadful note of preparation. The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll in the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and overlusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and curse the triple tardy gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away.
I have the best armor in all the world. Would it were day.
You have an excellent armor, but let my horse have his due.
No, it is the best horse in all of Europe.
Will it never be morning?
My Lord Montjoy, my Lord High Constable, you talk of horse and armor?
You are as well equipped of both as any prince in the world.
What a long night is this! I will not change my horse for any that treads but on four hooves. When I bestride him, I soar. He trots the air, the earth sings when he touches it. It is a beast for Perseus. He is pure air and fire.
Indeed, my lord, it is a most absolute and excellent horse.
It is the Prince of Palfreys. His neigh is like the bidding of a monarch, and his countenance enforces homage.
No more, cousin.
Nay, the man hath no wit that cannot from the rising of the lark to the lodging of the lamb very deserved praise on my palfrey. Once writ a sonnet in his name, and began thus, wonder of nature.
I have heard a sonnet begin so to one's mistress.
Then did they imitate that which I composed to my courser, for my horse is my mistress!
My Lord Constable, the armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon it?
Stars, my lord.
Some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope. Will it never be day? I will trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces.
I would not say so, for fear I would be faced out of my way. But I would it were morning, for I would fain be about the ears of the English.
'Tis midnight. I'll go arm myself.
The Dauphin longs for morning.
He longs to eat the English.
I fear he will eat all he kills.
He never did harm that I heard of.
And nor will do none tomorrow. Oh, but I heard he was valiant from one who knows him better than you.
What's he?
Marry, he told me so himself.
The English lie within 1,500 paces of our tents.
If they had any apprehension, they would run away.
Foolish curs that run winking into the mouth of a Russian bear and having their heads crushed like rotten apples. You may as well say that is a valiant flea that eats his breakfast on the lip of a lion.
And shall we find tomorrow they have stomachs only to eat and none to fight? But now is it time to arm. Come, shall we about it?
Aye. By 10 we shall have each 100 Englishmen.
Before poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and with gesture sad, investing lank lean cheeks and woe-worn coats, present to them under the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry praise and glory on his head, for forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Largesse universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to everyone thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold as may unworthiness define a little touch of Harry in the night.
Well, sir, it's true that we are in great danger. The greater therefore should our courage be. Good morrow, uncle. A good soft pillow for that good wise head were better than a churlish turf of France.
Not so, my liege. This lodging likes me better, since I may say, now lie I like a king.
Lend me thy cloak. Commend me to the princes in our camp. Do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion.
Well, shall I attend your grace?
No. I in my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company.
Kivala!
A friend?
Art thou an officer, or art thou base, common, and popular?
I am a gentleman of a company. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
And you are a better than the king.
The king's a bar cock, and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, of best most valiant. Oh, I kiss his dirty shoe, and from heartstring I love that lovely bully. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Leroy. It's a Cornish name. Art thou a Cornish crew?
No, I am a Welshman.
Ah, knowest thou Llewellyn?
Yes.
Tell him I'll knock his leek about his pate on St. Davy's Day.
Do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours.
Art thou his friend?
And his kinsman, too.
Well, the fight over thee.
I thank you. God be with you.
My name is Pistol Cold.
It sorts well with your fierceness.
Captain Llewellyn!
So, in the name of Jesus Christ, speak lower! It is the greatest admiration in the universal world if you would take the pains to examine the words of Pompey the Great. You shall find that there was no tittle-tattle in Pompey's cap.
Why, the enemy is loud. You hear him all night.
Oh, so if the enemy is an ass and a fool, is it me, think you, that we should also be an ass and a fool? In your own conscience now.
I will speak lower.
I pray and beseech that you will.
Though it appear a little out of fashion, there is much care and valor in this Welshman.
Brother John Bates, it's not that the morning which breaks yonder.
I think it be. But we have no great cause to desire the approach of day.
We see yonder the beginning of the day, but I think we shall never see the end of it. Who goes there?
A friend.
Under what captain serve you?
Under Sir Thomas Erpingham.
A good commander and a most kind gentleman. I pray you, what thinks he of our estate?
Even as men wrecked upon a sand that look to be washed off the next tide.
He hath not told his thoughts to the king.
No, nor is it not meet he should. But I think the king is but a man, as I am. The violet smells to him as it doth to me. His ceremonies laid by, in his nakedness he appears but a man. Therefore, when he sees reason of fears as we do, his fears, out of doubt, be of the same relish as ours are.
He may show what outward courage he will, but I believe as cold a night as this, he could wish himself in Thames up to the neck, and so I would he were, and I by him at all adventures, so we were quit here.
I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is.
Then I would were he here alone, so should he sure to be ransomed in a many poor man's life saved.
Methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honorable.
It's more than we know.
Aye, or more than we should seek after. For we know enough if we know we are the king's subjects. If the king's cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us.
But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make. When all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in battle shall join together at the latter day and cry, all we die at such a place. Some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon their debts they owe, some upon their children rarely left. I am afeard there few die well that die in a battle. For how can they charitably dispose of anything when blood is their argument? Now if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it.
So, if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be imposed upon his father that sent him. But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, the father of his son, for they purpose not their death when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, if it come to the arbitrament of swords, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers. Every subject's duty is the king's, but every subject's soul is his own.
'Tis certain. Every man that dies ill upon his own head, the king is not to answer it.
But I do not desire the king should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him.
I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed.
Oh, aye, he said so. To make us fight cheerfully, but when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed and we ne'er the wiser.
If I live to see it, I will never trust his word after.
That's a perilous shot out of an elder gun. That a poor and private displeasure could do against a monarch. You may as well go about to turn the sun to ice with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after come. 'Tis a foolish saying.
Your reproof is something too round. I should be angry at you if the time were convenient.
Let it be a quarrel between us, if you live.
I embrace it.
How shall I know thee again?
Lend me any gauge of thine, and I will wear it in my belt. Then if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I will make it my quarrel.
Here's my glove. Give me another of thine.
There.
This will I also wear in my belt. If ever thou come to me after tomorrow and say, this is my glove by this hand, I will take thee above the ear!
Be friends! English fools, be friends! We have French quarrels enough. If you could tell how to reckon.
Upon the king, let us our lives, our souls, our debts, our careful wives, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. What infinite heartsease must kings neglect that private men enjoy? And what have kings that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? What kind of god art thou, that sufferest more of mortal griefs than do thy worshippers? What drink'st thou oft instead of homage sweet, but poisoned flattery? Oh, be sick, great greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Canst thou, when thou commandest the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No, thou proud dream, that playest so subtly on a king's repose. I am a king that find thee, yet I know 'tis not the orb and scepter, the crown imperial, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. Not all these, laid in bed majestical, can sleep so soundly as the wretched slave. who with a body filled and vacant mind gets him to rest, crammed with distressful bread. Never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth help Hyperion to his horse, and follows so the ever-running year with profitable labor to his grave. And but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding his days with toil and nights with sleep, at the forehand and vantage of a king.
My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through the camp to find you.
Collect them all together at my tent. I'll be before thee. O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess them not with fear. Take from them now their sense of reckoning. If the opposed numbers, pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made in compassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred anew, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 chantries, where the sad and solemn priest sings still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. Aye, I know thy errand, I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things stay for me.
Doth gild our armor! The English are embattled! To horse, you French peers! Straight to horse!
Let the trumpet sound! For our approach shall so much dare the field, that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
My lords, the French are very strong.
Where is the king?
The king himself has rode to view the battle. Fighting men they have full 40,000.
That's 5 to 1. Besides, they are all fresh. 'Tis fearful odds.
God's arm strike with us. 'Tis a fearful odds. God be with you, princes all. Out to my charge. If we no more meet till we meet in heaven, then joyfully, my lords all. Adieu.
Farewell, kind lord. Fight valiantly today. Yet I do thee wrong to mind thee of it, for thou art framed in the firm truth of valor.
Oh, had we not had here 1/10,000 of those men in England who do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Bedford? No, my fair cousin, if we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It earns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my cuz, wish not a man from England. God's peace I would not lose so great an honor as one man more methinks would share from me for the best hope I have. Oh, do not wish one more. Rather proclaim it presently through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall see this day and live to old age shall yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors, and say tomorrow is Saint Crispian. Then will he strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men, forget. It all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then will our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day until the ending of the world. We in it shall be remembered. We few. We happy few. We band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed should think themselves accursed. They were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whiles any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's day!
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in their battle set and will with all expedience charge on us.
All things are ready if our minds be so.
Perish the man whose mind is backward now.
Thou dost not wish more help from England, cuz?
God's will, my liege, would you and I could fight this royal battle alone.
By now thou hast unwished 5,000 men, which likes me better than to wish us one. You know your places. God be with you all.
Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry. If for thy ransom thou wilt now compound, before thy most assuring overthrow.
I pray thee, bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me, and then sell my bones. Good Lord, why should they mock poor fellows thus? Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable we are but warriors for the working day. Aye. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marching in the painful field. There's not a piece of feather in our host, but by the mass our hearts are in the trim. Herald, save thou thy labor. Come thou no more for ransom, gentle herald. They shall have none, I swear, but these my joints, which if they have as I will leave them, shall yield them little. So tell the constable.
I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou never shalt hear herald any more.
My servant lord, most humbly on my knee, I beg the leading of the vanguard.
Take it, brave York. Now soldiers, march away, and how thou pleasest God, dispose the day.
So our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we should much disgrace with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill-disposed and brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt.
Vous êtes such an optimum quality! What is thy name? Discuss! Oh, Signor Dew! Mark! Thou diest on point of fox, except thou do give to me egregious ransom! Come hither, boy! Bid this man in French to prepare, for I will cut his throat!
C'est soldat ici et dispose à couper votre gorge.
Gardez ma vie, et je vous donnerai 200 écus. What are his words?
He prays you save his life, and for his ransom, he will give you 200 crowns.
I'll tell him my fury shall abate, and I the crowns will take. Follow me!
I've never known so full a voice issue from so empty a heart. But the saying is true that the empty vessel makes the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nym had 10 times the valor as this roaring devil, and they are both hanged. So would this be, if he durst steal anything adventurously. I must stay with the lackeys, with the luggage of the camp. The French might have an easy prey of us if he knew of it, for there's none to guard it but boys.
The group! Is this the king we sent you for his ransom?
My boy, my soul shall keep thine company to heaven. Good Lord, commend my service to my sovereign.
Well have we done, thrice valiant countrymen, but all's not done, yet keep the French the field.
Duke of York commends him to your majesty.
I was not angry since I came to France until this instant. Take down a trumpet. Ride to the horsemen on yon hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down or void the field. They do offend our sight. If not, we will come to them and make them scur away as swift as stones and force it from the old Assyrian slings. Besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have.
Kill the poor! 'Tis expressly against the law of arms! 'Tis an error to piece of knavery marked now as could be offered to your conscience now, is it not?
It's the cowardly rascals that had ran with the bow that had done this slaughter. And they have burned and carried away all that was in the king's tent. Wherefore the king, most worthily, have caused every soldier to cut his prisoner's throat! Out is a gallant king!
Aye, my lord of Gloucester! He was poured at Monmouth! I tell ya, there's good men poured at Monmouth.
But hark! When you alarm is the same. The French have reinforced their scattered men.
He's the herald of the French.
Eyes are humbler than they used to be. How now? What means this herald? Knowst thou not that I have fined these bones of mine for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom?
No, great king! I come to thee for charitable license. That we may wander over this bloody field, to look our dead and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men, for many of our princes, woe the vile, lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. Oh, give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety and dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no.
The day is yours.
Praised be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
We call it Agincourt.
Then call we this the field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispin Crispianus.
And it please your majesty, your grandsire in famous memory, and your great-uncle Edward the Black, Prince of Wales, as I've read in the chronicles, fought a brave battle here in France.
They did, Llewellyn.
And if your majesty be remembered of it, the Frenchmen did a good service that day in the garden where the leeks did grow, where it leeks in the Monmouth caps, which, as your majesty know, to this hour is an honourable badge of the service. And I think your majesty take no scorn to wear the lake upon St. David's Day.
I wear it for a memorable honour. For I am Welsh, you know, good countrymen.
By Jesu, I am your majesty's countryman! And I cannot know it! I'll confess it to all the world! And I need not be ashamed of your majesty, praise be to God, so long as your majesty is an honest man.
God, keep me so. Our heralds, go with him. Bring me just notice of the numbers dead on both our parts. Call yonder fellow hither.
Soldier, you must to the king.
Soldier, why wearest thou that glove in thy belt?
Oh, and please your majesty, a rascal that swaggered with me last night, who if alive here dare challenge this glove, I've sworn to take him a box of the year.
Then keep thy vow, Sirrah.
My liege, this was my glove. He that I gave it to promised to wear in his belt. I promised to strike him if he did.
Lend me thy glove, soldier. Why, look. Here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I, indeed, thou promised it to strike.
Oh, my liege, you came not like yourself. You appeared to me but as a common man. I beseech you, take it for your own fault, not mine. I beseech your highness, pardon me.
Uncle, fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honor in thy belt till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns. And captain, you must needs be friends with him.
By this day and this light, this fellow is metal enough in his belly. Hold you. There's 12 pence for you. And I pray that you serve God and that he keep you out of pros and prambles and quarrels and dissensions, for I warned you. It's the better for you.
Here is a number of the slaughtered French.
This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain. Where's the number of our slaughtered English? Edward, the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Sir Richard Ketley Davy Gam, Esquire, and of all other men, but 25. Oh God, thy arm was here, and not to us but to thy arm alone ascribe we all. Go we in procession to the village, and be it death, proclaim it through our host to boast of this, or take the praise from God, which is his only.
And to please your majesty, is it not lawful to tell how many is killed?
Yes, captain, but with this acknowledgement, that God fought for us.
holy rites. Let there be sung non nobis and te Deum, the dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais, and to England then, where ne'er from France arrived more happy men.
Non nobis Domine, Domine, non nobis Domine, se nomine, tuta gloria.
Yesterday, brings me bread and salt and bids me eat my leg. Now I was in a place where I could breed no contention with them, but I will be so bold as to wear it in my cap until I see him once again.
Why, 'tis a god, a fool, a rogue who now goes to the walls to grace himself at his return into London and under the form of a soldier. But, why here he comes, swelling like a turkey cock.
'Tis no matter for a swellings nor as turkey cocks. God bless you, Pistol, you scurvy, lousy knave, God bless you.
Art thou bedlam? Hence! I am qualmish at the smell of leek.
Well, I beseech you heartily, scald knave, to eat, look you, this lick.
Not for Cogwaller and all his goats.
Oh, there's a goat for you! Would you be so good as to eat it?
Base Trojan, thou shalt die!
Oh, you speak very true, scald knave! With goat's willies! In the meantime, I desire you to live and eat your victuals! Come! There's a sauce for it!
What's thy bite?
Oh, on the doubt, now question two and ambiguities!
Oh, by this leek, I will most horribly revenge! I eat, I swear!
Throw another way! The skin is good for that broken cockscomb! And when you take opportunity to steal like again, I pray you, mock at him! That is all!
It's good!
Aye! Leeks is good! Hold! There's a groat to heal the pain!
Me, a groat?
Yes, verily, and in truth, and you shall take it! Or I have another leek in my pocket which you shall eat!
I take that groat in earnest of revenge!
God be with you, and keep you, and heal your pain!
Oh, hell shall stir for this!
Go! Go! You are cowardly counterfeit knave. Very well.
Doth fortune play the strumpet with me now? News I have that my wife is dead in the hospital of a malady of France, and there my rendezvous is quite cut off. Well, bard I'll turn, and something lean to cut purse of quick hand. To England will I steal, and there I'll steal. And patches will I get under these scars, and swear I got them in the present wars.
Meeting, wherefore we are met, and to our brother France, health and fair time of day. Joy and good wishes to our most fair and princely cousin Catherine, and princes French and peers. Health to you all.
Right joyous are we to behold your face, most worthy brother England, fairly met. And so are you, princes English, every one.
To cry amen to that, thus we appear.
My duty to you both on equal love. Great kings of France and England, since face to face and royal eye to eye you have assembled, let it not disgrace me if I demand before this royal view, why that naked, poor, and mingled peace should not in this best garden of the world our fertile France put up her lovely visage. Alas, she has from France too long been chased. Our houses and ourselves and children have lost. And my speech entreats that I should know why gentle peace should not expel these inconveniences and bless us with her former qualities.
If you would the peace, you must buy that peace with full accord to all our just demands.
I have but with a cursory eye o'erglanced the articles. Pleases your grace to appoint some of your council presently, with better heed to resurvey them. We will suddenly pass or accept in peremptory answer.
Brother, we shall. Yet leave our cousin Catherine here with us. She is our capital demand.
She hath good leave.
O fair Catherine, and most fair, will you vouchsafe to teach a soldier terms such as will enter at a lady's ear and plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock at me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh, fair Catherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I will be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi, I cannot tell what is like me.
Oh, an angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
Que dit-il? Que je suis semblable à la langue.
Oui, sauf autre grâce, ainsi dit-il.
Oh, bon Dieu. Les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
What says she, fair one, that the tongues of men are full of deceits?
Oui, that the tongues of the man's is full of deceits. That is the princess.
In faith, Kate, I am glad thou canst speak no better English. For if thou couldst, thou wouldst find me such a plain king that thou wouldst think I had sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say, I love you. Give me your answer in faith, too, and so clap hands in a bargain.
Oh, so votre honneur understand well.
Mary, if you would put me to verses or to dance for your sake, Kate. Why, you undid me. If I could gallop my horse for her favors, or I could lay it on like a jackanapes, or sit like a butcher, never off. But for God, Kate, I cannot look greenly, nor gasp out my eloquence, nor have I no cunning in protestation. If thou wouldst have a fellow of this temper, Kate, whose face is not worth sunburning, take me. If not, to say to thee that I shall die is true. But for thy love, by the Lord, no. And yet, I love thee too.
If thou would have such a one, take me. And take me, take a soldier. Take a soldier, take a king. And what sayest thou then to my love? Speak, my fair, and fairly, I pray thee.
Is it possible that I should love the enemy of France?
No, it is not possible, Kate. But in loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well, I will not part with a village of it. I will have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France and you are mine.
I cannot tell what is that.
No, Kate. I will tell thee in French, which I'm sure will hang upon my tongue like a new married wife about her husband's neck, hardly to be shook off. Quand je suis le possesseur de France, et quand vous avez la possession de moi, let me see what then. Donc, votre est France, et vous êtes mienne. I shall never move thee in French unless it be to laugh at me.
Non, sauf Antoine, le français que vous parlez est less meilleur que l'anglais laquelle je parle.
No, Faith, is not, Kate. But Kate, canst thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Can any of your neighbors tell, Kate? I'll ask them. Come, I know thou lovest me. And at night, when you come into your closet, you will question this gentlewoman about me. And I know, Kate, you will to her dispraise those parts of me that you love with your heart. But, good Kate, mock me mercifully. The rather, gentle princess, because I love thee cruelly. And what sayest thou, my fair flower de luce?
I do not know that.
Now, it is hereafter to know, but now to promise. But now promise, Kate, la plus belle Catherine du monde.
Your Majesty have false French enough to deceive the most sage demoiselle that is en France.
By mine honor, in true English, I love thee. By which honor I dare not swear thou lovest me, though my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost, and notwithstanding the poor and untempering effect of my visage. Dear Kate, will you have me? Put off your maiden blushes. Avouch the thoughts of your heart with the looks of an empress. Take me by the hand and say, Harry of England, I am thine! Which word thou shalt no sooner bless mine ear withal, but I will tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine, and Harry Plantagenet is thine. Come, thy answer in broken music, for thy voice is music, and thy English broken. Therefore, Catherine, queen of all, break thy mind to me in broken English. Wilt thou have me?
That is as it shall please the roi mon père.
It shall please him well, Kate. It shall please him, Kate.
Then it shall also content me.
Upon that I kiss your hand and call you my queen.
Oh, laissez, monseigneur, laissez. Je ne vous prendrai vous abaissez votre grandeur en baissant la main de notre Seigneur, indigne serviteur. Je vous supplie, mon très puissant Seigneur, excusez-moi.
And I will kiss your lips, Kate.
Oh, les dames, mademoiselle, poète, maison de non, c'est non, la coutume de France.
Madam, my interpreter, what says she?
That it is not the fashion for the ladies of France. I cannot tell what is bassier in English.
It's not a fashion for the maids in France to kiss before they are married, would you say?
Oui, vraiment.
Oh, Kate. Nice customs, curtsy to great kings. Dear Kate, you and I cannot be confined within the weak list of a country's fashion. We are the makers of manners, Kate. And the liberty that follows our places stops the mouths of all fine faults. Therefore, patiently and yielding. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There is more eloquence in a sugar touch of them than in the tongues of the French council. Here comes your father.
God save your majesty. Our royal cousin teach you our princess English.
I would have her learn how perfectly I love her. And that is good English.
We have consented to all the terms of reason.
So, my lords of England.
The king hath consented every article.
Only he has not yet subscribed to this. For your majesty demands the king shall name your highness our dear son Harry, king of England and heir to the throne of France.
No, this have I not, brother, so denied. But your request shall make me let it pass.
I pray you then, in love and dear alliance, let that one article rank with the rest. And thereupon, give me your daughter.
Take her, fair son, and let her blood raise up issue with me, that the contending kingdoms of France and England, whose very shores pale with envy at each other's happiness, shall cease their hatred, and this dear conjunction plant neighborhood and Christian-like accord in their sweet bosom, that never war advance his bleeding sword twixt England and fair France.
Amen. We'll take your oath, and all the peers, for surety of our leagues. And I swear to Kate, as you to me, and may our oaths well kept and prosperous be. Now welcome, Kate, and bear me witness all, that here I kiss her as my sovereign queen.
Thus far, with rough and all unable pen, our bending author hath pursued this story. In little room confining mighty men, mangling by starts the full course of their glory. Small time, but in that small most greatly lived this Star of England.